So this is happening now. You're looking at President Joe Biden. He is in line for early voting. Now, remember, Joe Biden thought his name would be on the ticket. It's not. Vice President Kamala Harris's is. And remember, Saturday in Pittsburgh, he said, Kamala and I have a lot of work to do. Oh, wait, Kamala does. So we wonder if he's adjusting to the development that happened in July, that he is, in fact, not on the ticket as he goes to cast his vote, presumably, for his vice president, Kamala Harris. Quite a moment to watch. Part of history, indeed. When we move on to this, there are reports that there's a little bit of dissension in the Biden-Kamala Harris campaign. The Biden White House making stops, the Kamala Harris campaign totally in the blind, according to sources. And this was all in Axios. And setting us up with that big new breaking report is Jacqui Heinrich, who is live in Ann Arbor, Michigan, where Vice President Harris is campaigning today. Jacqui.
Well, Kayleigh, President Biden reportedly wants to get out on the trail and help Harris in this final stretch, but the campaign keeps telling Biden, we'll get back to you, letting days that he has held open on his calendar come and go. According to Axios, Biden's team believes that the campaign is underestimating his appeal among working-class voters, especially in the Rust Belt. But one person from the campaign side said he's a reminder of the last 4 years, not a new way forward. And yet, Harris is here in Michigan touting jobs that came out of investments under Biden, including the CHIPS Act and the Inflation Reduction Act. And the largest super PAC supporting her is warning she's got to shift her strategy away from attacking Trump's character. The New York Times obtained 2 emails from Future Forward and, quote, attacking Trump's fascism is not that persuasive, read one line in bold type in the email, which is known as a Doppler and sent on a regular basis. Trump is exhausted isn't working either, read another. But Harris does not seem eager to get into detailed policy discussions when she's pressed.
So you do support restrictions after viability?
I support Roe versus Wade being put back into law by Congress and to restore the fundamental right of women to make decisions about their own body. It is that basic.
But you know, there are restrictions. With Roe versus Wade, there were restrictions after viability.
We would not be debating this if Donald Trump had not hand-selected 3 members of the United States Supreme Court with the intention they would undo the protections of Roe v. Wade.
Once again, not a yes or a no there. Harris was caught on a hot mic yesterday talking to Governor Gretchen Whitmer. She appeared to acknowledge that she's not doing well with men.
Yeah. Oh, we have microphones in here. I was listening to everything. Oh, I didn't realize that. Okay. So, well, you'll bleep my F words. We just told all the family secrets.
So far, though, we have not seen a big shift in strategy. She's going to appear here with the singer Maggie Rogers tonight to rally the base in another Democratic stronghold. Kayleigh.
Jacqui, thank you. Now, Tammy, this Axios report that says Biden's holding days open in his calendar only to cancel them because the campaign is not giving him days. Yeah. They call this, quote, a slow-moving breakup. Here's the problem. It may be a slow-moving breakup, but you got 8 days till the election, so this breakup better quicken.
Better hurry up. The recognition that he's a reminder about how bad the last 4 years were is the confession. Of course it's been bad. She's part of it, and that's why the effort has been made to make it seem as though she's been dropped by Venus onto the planet. And the insult of this, he clearly was not making day-to-day decisions. This was a program that the Democrats had him move through, and now he's going to be thrown, once again, under the bus. Wow. When she represents that category in the party, that wing, and he's the bad guy, from the beginning they must have been furious. But I will say that he and Jill, they made a decision. They said, okay. He could have said no. He didn't say no. He said, okay. That was his mistake. He should never have dropped out. He had the power of the presidency. Wow. They threatened him with something. We don't know exactly what.
25th Amendment after that June 27th debate?
If you can win and be the president, you should have been able to overcome Nancy freaking Pelosi. Yeah. And he couldn't. So I don't feel so sorry for him, but this is ugly, and it's not just that relationship. It's within the Democratic Party itself.
You know, Jerry, you can tell a lot by who's talking to the press, and notably in July, the Biden White House, which has been very good about not leaking, was all leaking to the press. The campaign was all over the map. But now I'm noticing this interesting dynamic. You get a Kamala's source saying one thing, and then you get a Biden White House source saying a different thing, meaning there's some acrimony there. And this is a perfect example. This was about the trip to Pittsburgh that Biden made. And Axios says this: Biden's announcement this past week that he would campaign solo in Pittsburgh this weekend caught many on Harris's team off guard.
Oops.
Two people familiar with the matter told Axios, oh, wait, a White House official said the Harris campaign arranged Biden's Pittsburgh trip and was not caught off guard. There is some acrimony, and if she loses...
Oh, no, it's my idea.
Yeah.
It's my idea. Yeah, we definitely were on page with that. I mean, obviously, they're fighting it out. But can I just say one thing? I think it's a mistake to kick him out because voters understand Biden. They know what he stands for. And there are people in different demographics who love that. So why not use him for that? I mean, she is so... her obscure. I don't really understand what she stands for and what she wants. It changes. You know, my motives, are still the same. What? I'm confused. So maybe if he went out there, it would help.
There's also this interesting report, Harris, and Jackie referenced part of it. It was in the New York Times. You see the headline here. Pro-Harris super PAC raises concerns about focusing on Trump and fascism. Yeah. Okay, so the super PAC, as I mentioned in A Block, is saying don't go here. And Kamala was asked this weekend, are you going off internal polling or not? And I want you to listen to what she said. Listen to this.
Priceless.
Madam Vice President, can you give us a sense of your internal polling at the campaign and how that is making or influencing your decisions on what to do over the next 9 days?
So, to be very frank with you, my internal polling is my instinct.
Her instincts.
Well, that explains a lot.
It sure does.
Wow. I wonder what it's like to be on her staff and always go by her whims. It's probably why we had joy for a while and now we have hate. I mean, we couldn't even progress to dislike. Hate for Donald Trump. And by the way, you said it, hate for half the country for those who support him. Might be more than half. We don't know. We'll have to see what happens on Election Day. You know, I am starting to wonder, just in this divide with Joe Biden, how much of this also is, do you really want to sit down with the guy who had more votes in certain categories than you can get in the polling right now? Do you want to take a lecture from Joe Biden on how to win back the black vote? I mean, I can imagine acrimony is one way to put it, but we've seen her go from joy to hate. Maybe it's stronger than acrimony.
You know, instincts over internals. Is instincts over internals what got us the unserious vice presidential nominee, Tim Walz, rather than the highly popular governor of Pennsylvania, Josh Shapiro?
Right. And we all thought that it was the polling that was having her change all of her positions on all these different things. But it's her instincts that has her flip-flopping all over the place and then going on TV and saying, my values have never changed. I think that America actually wants to break up with both of them, and they are sensing it. I think Harris is more aware of Biden's unpopularity with the public than Biden is. And I think that Biden knows that Kamala Harris has a whole lot more flaws than Kamala is willing to come to terms with. And it's wild when you see Joe Biden showing up at a campaign event and putting on a MAGA hat. When you see Bill Clinton showing up at a campaign event for Kamala Harris and saying, if we did better vetting at the border, then these young victims of illegal immigrants would still be alive. Kamala doesn't have any good surrogates. I would include Walz in that category. And if Harris is leaving it to herself, flip-flopping all over the place, trusting her instincts, which are not that good.
Instincts over internals.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kayleigh McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.